what I'm going to do is I'll yeah, it was a real brain fart. I could be president at that point. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, 1972 bus. It has been on the channel before. I think we did, what we do? Ball joints? Ball joint boots? We did boots on the thing. Anywho, digressing and regressing into why this thing's here. Nothing that I did. This thing has, it doesn't run anymore. Obviously, we're gonna have to go through and figure it out. It has a massive oil leak out of absolutely every orifice. I've never seen it before. Yeah, I'll just bring you back there and show you what's going on. But it's in here for no run and, well, oil leak. I have my speculations, but let's dive in together. Join me in the back. All right, let me apologize now because this is a bus and, well, even less room for activities than, here, come down some, I guess. Even less room for activities than a Beetle. But first thing, well, I'll show you the first thing I noticed, and I showed the owner as soon as this thing got dropped off. Let me turn down that fan. Maybe keep down some noise for you. As soon as it got dropped off, let me show you. Usually typical thing, what the owner said was it was basically, I guess, idling in his driveway and just quit, and he'd have problems starting it, it'd clunk. Yeah, just not good. Also, has a terrible description of what happened. He told me more, but I can't remember verbatim. But anywho, ran but didn't. First thing I did, because it got street unloaded and I had to push it into the shop, and potential to run, I'll see if they'll fire, but I always check the oil. Well, pull the oil, or the dipstick, and at first I was like, oh, you got nothing in here. I was wrong. Hold, please. I came over here once. I should have just did it when I came over here. I knew what I was going to do. Yeah. All right. No trickery. Dipstick. It should not be flammable. I don't know if the flame's showing up. But yeah, it's more gas than oil. It's really good, because if that flame's still on here, I'm putting it in here, it's probably gonna go poof. Trying to catch it real quick. Yeah. Oil should not do that. With that said, I'm gonna leave it out. Now, part two, like I said, is there's the owner did do some cleaning, he said, but everything under here, I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but everything under here is absolutely soaked. It's not engine cleaner on here. It's all oil. So, I'll crouch down. The other side's even better. That's just from sitting on the lift. I did hose some of this stuff off. Say it definitely has a massive oil leak. What I think I'm going to do, well, here's my great idea to begin with. One, the only way you get that much gas into the engine is if your fluid bowl's stuck, down. So it's just pouring in. This thing also has an electric fuel pump on it. It's running an electric fuel pump, so it's, you turn the key and say you leave it on, your bowl's stuck or some odd reason. Also, it's consistently pumping. Still a problem if you have a mechanical, but at least when your engine doesn't run, or if you leave your key on, the pump's not pumping. You have a better chance to ingest and dump out, I guess, the fuel or overfueling when you're mechanical. Electric, you don't know. You basically constantly dumping fuel, and well, if it fills your cylinders, could be where you set it. You turn the key and clunk, and that would be it hydraulicing, which is also not a good idea or a good thing. You bend things, you break things. It's not good. Oil. Not 100% sure, but because I'm going on, this is more gasoline than oil, I am hoping the mix is just super thin, and it's just finding every orifice that it can possibly find, because this engine leaked before. What I'm hoping is it's coming out, say, the front seal, hitting the fan, or the backside of the fan, or in the fan shroud or whatever, and the fan's just whipping it all over everything. So I'm really hoping it's less worse than it is, because the oil is so thin. And like I said, it doesn't even read on the dipstick. It's quite full. So that's, I guess, my brain thought on this. So what the first thing I'm going to do, dump the oil, change the filter. Good news is the inside of this engine should be spotless at this point. But dump the oil, change the filter, refill it, and hopefully just fire it up. Good news is the electric fuel pump is wired to, I think, this red wire off the ignition, so I can just boop and turn it off there. Talk to them. We are going to put a new carburetor on it, because most likely what happened with the ethanol fuel, needle and seat's starting to gum up or sticky on the carb, and rather than rebuilding it, I'll just throw in a new carburetor. So, all right, first things first, I'm going to get a drain pan and get this thing a little higher. I really need my tree guy here. I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like gremlins were trying to get in my roof. All right, I'll be back. All right, nothing fancy. I'm gonna just drain this oil. And if you've watched these videos, or this video on this bus, I couldn't remember if I did an oil change on this thing, like last time I was here. And I distinctly remember that I did, due to the fact that it has a very unique drain plug on it. Oh, wow. I know where your terrible gas mileage went. I'm having enough time to actually queue up my phone. Good news is this entire shop's flammable. Okay, so I might know why it wasn't cranking. Hindsight, I should have had like a 5-gallon bucket and not a drain pan. Sure screwed that one up. Wow. And you know that oil filter is going to be the same. I need bigger. What size is a K9? I can never remember. There we go. 1 inch. I run K9s for this reason. Holy crap. Why are you so tight? I put you on. Wonder if the gasket's swole. Holy crap. That is insane. I don't even want to run my lift right now, to be honest with you. It's not that I'm afraid, it's that I'm afraid. Come on, baby. You're turning. There we go. You keep draining. All right, let me do some hazmat control. I've never, in my, at least few days of working on these things, have drained this much raw gas out of a crankcase. Yeah, I don't think ever. I'm actually speechless and impressed. Speechless and impressed. That's how good it is. It's a tongue twister upon itself. Speechless and impressed. So maybe my thing was right. It just was it didn't have any oil in it. It just was all full of gas. I'm gonna top it off, like I said, and yeah. Well, let me clean it up and get my thoughts together. This is impressive. All right, well, throw on a Wix filter, just the cheapest one I can get. I mean, it's still not cheap. It was like $10, but I mean, just throw on a Wix. Oh, it needs a CV joint. Nice. Yeah, just gonna throw a Wix on for to say, oh yeah, I was gonna say before all hell broke loose, make sure you gap your drain plug. And God, I am so happy this actually didn't have an electrode to it. That would, yeah, not been the goodest. Holy crap. I still can't believe how much fuel was in here. I obviously was not expecting it. It just kind of happened. So, oh shit. But yeah, obviously I'm gonna fill this thing up with oil, correct amount, and then I will proceed to snug. Fill up with oil. Run the engine. See if I'm leaning towards the whole problem right now was the thing was just filled with fuel, and the oil leak wasn't really oil leaks. It was just finding every seal that it could come out of. bad. Really, really, I can't believe it didn't go, you know, poof. Be honest with you. So carb, definitely an issue. I'm hoping, because I know it ran, it didn't wipe out like the bearings. Oh, shit. All right, I'm going to top this thing off real quick with cheap fuel or oil. Just something to get in here. Due to the fact that, well, you saw it came out, it's definitely getting a second oil change. And like I said, I do have a, I bend over. Pick it up. I have a brand new K&N for this thing. Where the box went, I don't know what the hell I did with it. But yeah, so there is a new oil filter for this engine. Or at least the one I would normally use. I'm really hoping that the only problem was it was just filled and everything was leaking because of that. Herein lies the problem. We might have more problems going on now. All the seals now that they've been introduced with a ton of gas may just keep leaking. Could have dried it out. Ethanol is not friendly. Blah. Especially on rubber that's not ethanol rated. So that's, we're going to find out, because worst case scenario is the rear main's gone now, valve covers, push rod tubes. Basically the whole engine's going to need a reseal. But we'll let's find out. It was only leaking from the back of this engine. So I'm hoping, man, I am so happy I didn't open those valve covers. Ooh, that would have been bad. You saw how much came out of it. They were full. They weren't leaking that bad. All the leaks in the back were running out of the valve covers themselves and, well, the rear main. So I'm wondering if that's shot now. Everything spray-wise, probably coming out of the front crank, hitting the fan and just dispersifying. Because funny enough, the breather, completely dry in there. I know, I didn't see it either. Well, I didn't show you, so you didn't see it. I didn't see that coming, I guess is what I'm getting at. So, all right, let me stop yakking, fill up with oil. At least I can disable the fuel pump from up here, because, well, hopefully it has gas in it still. Got some 1030 I'll just dump in. I run Rotella and everything, but this is literally for the sheer purpose of I don't want to waste good oil. Like I said, I'm being cheap. For some reason that smelled weird. Yeah, it's 1030, usually 1540. Oh, fun hell. Right. Oh. I almost want to put gear lube in here at this point. And we're at least reading real oil. And, well, if you can see the glistening lines here, we're about a half a quart over full, which is perfect. It's going to need more, but for sake, oil filter still needs to be filled. I don't pre-fill, guys. All right, this oil attracted to this guy. That guy's fuel pump. All right. Lower this thing down, see what happens. I at least can run, touch to the ignition and run the fuel pump if I need to. I might make it on its own circuit off a jumper battery, to be honest with you. Oil light went off. Still runs great from the last time I had it. Not patting myself on the back or anything, but it does. All right. There goes the fuel. All right, carb bowl's drained. Carb still works, obviously. Had fuel in it. Circulated for a bit. What I'm gonna do now is I want to let the shop gas out because it is quite pungent. What I'm gonna do is I'll turn the key, put my bore scope in here, and just see if that thing is actually actively dumping fuel in. Like I said, it's going to get a new carburetor anyway, so that's, neither here or there. Gonna make sure we don't have any leaks. It didn't get hot or run long enough for anything. I'm also going to hose down the entire frickin' engine. So I have, we buy cases of brake clean for a reason. To do this stuff. Cleaning, so much fun. I'm happy it runs. No load. Obviously, no rev up, obviously. Still running smooth. If you heard, I don't know if my mic picked it up, if you heard, had a little bit of a gallop into rotate. Not 100% sure, and also, hopefully the bearings are good. Obviously, I think I said I run 1540 and everything. This is 1030 in here now. It's just because it's thinner. It's not gonna blow up your engine. If it does, it wasn't long for this world anyway, especially what came out of it. But right now, I know oil got circulated around. I'm hoping not to see any new drips on the floor while I let this place air out. And I'll get back to you. I'll plug in that fuel pump and see if, we know where the fuel's coming from. That's the only place it can be coming from to get into the engine. I'm not building, suspense. I just want to see if it's actively still doing it. I guess is what I'm getting at. Because, electric fuel, like I said in my diatribe earlier, electric fuel pump, turn the key, leave it on, flip both sticks. Well, you're just, that's exactly what happens. So, my big concern is, like I said, seals right now, if their engine's hurt. But like I said, the carb's gonna get replaced. Everything else seems fine. I'm still taking it in. One thing I am good at, I know how not to shut up, and this thing is leaving me speechless at this point, just because it's quite interesting. Like I said, in my years of doing this, possibly days or months or minutes, I have never encountered something this bad. Have I drained fuel? 100%. 100%. I've had fuel bowl stick, so on and so forth. Crankcase full of gas, I have not came across it. So there's that. But all right, let me let this air out. I think I'm just getting high off the fumes in here. I'll be back. All right, guys, it's actually the next day because the fumes in here were, they were quite delightful. Plus I wanted everything to gas out because starting this thing, definitely really wasn't the smartest idea. So anyway, back to what I was getting at or going to do. I'm gonna shove my bore scope down the carburetor and see what and oh, clips, I need you, and see if that if the floats are indeed hanging. Where the hell did it go? It didn't go so far. Oh, there it is. Found it. Turn on. You should be charged. Yes. Hold on. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, boops, boops, boop, beep. Connect. Boop. Oh, Lordy. Back. I don't care. Go back to this. On. There we go. All right. You guys probably won't be able to see this. There. We're zoomed-ish in. Now I just have to figure out what orientation this camera's in so I don't go completely bonkers. All right, inside the carburetor. Stay. Can I get you to where I can see kind of what's going on? For right now, it's fine. That's this fans and the fan thing itself in the way. That's basically what I want to get at. Come on, work with me. All right, good enough. If this thing's overflowing, it should be pouring out of that center. So we'll do the right thing. We'll just ground this to the carburetor. Boink. Perfect. And throw a jumper wire to fuel pump. I heard. Yeah, I hear the pump running. Still dry. Back cylinder. Still dry. Yeah, I don't know if the wind or the tell she's been backfired a couple times out of this cylinder. Definitely does not seem to be leaking now. See if I can operate this with two hands and pump it. I don't even think I'm getting squirters. Yeah, I'm not even hearing the squirters. Hammer. Sorry for the extreme zoom, but I'm going to tap on the side. Just gently rebuilding it. Go back to that. I know this is riveting footage, but if I don't have squirters, it means I don't have fuel. Sort of a good thing, because it's not going to do what it just did. But I would like squirters. Yeah, I think this car, I did order a new one, so not a big deal. There it goes. I don't know if you saw it, look in the bottom right corner. It's squirting. Ew. Whoa, zoom out. All right, so it is squirting. Pump's running. It's not dumping fuel. These are all good things. What I am going to do is turn this off. Disconnect all that, reconnect the fuel pump. To where it was. I gotta start this thing and let it idle. All right, that's in. That's good. We can get rid of this jumper battery. Be right back and we'll fire this thing up. All right, let's let this thing down and hopefully fire it up. I want to let it idle, obviously longer than it did yesterday. Just due to the fact I know the carb isn't leaking anymore. I can run it with power. Come on, all cylinders. Let's have a party. Oil lights off. There it is. Woo. All right, so I'm just gonna let it sit here and chooch for a bit. No, there's oil in it, obviously. I just want to get it up to temperature and see. Hopefully it's not flinging oil anymore. Just going on what came out of it. I think the seals weren't sealing, but also every seal right now is pretty much compromised. So I want to see what we're going to be replacing, because valve cover's definitely, like I said, it has an oil pump or a electronic fuel pump, but it still has a mechanical back there. I'm going to put a black off plate, so I'm getting rid of that. What else? Plugs, wires, so on and so forth. That's going to get replaced. What else? Yeah, a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I'll pick up, but she's definitely doing burn off. That's exhaust. That's not fuel, so that's good. But yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna let her idle, and I'll get back to you. But I just, like I said, want everything circulating, get the gas washed out, so on and so forth. Then we'll probably dump the oil again, put more oil into it, and try to, run it again. We're using this as a detergent, cleaning additive. Dawn. I'll be back. All right, guys, here's what I got. That is, yeah, not a, I don't know how well it picks up in the camera, but that smoke, not ideal. All the other smoke that's rolling out of this thing, if it's picking up, that's just excess burn off. But the tailpipe chooching, yeah, I think the rings are gone. Because it doesn't smell like fuel. I mean, it does, but either that or honestly, the muffler could be filled. Leaning towards the muffler could be filled. In that case, I really don't want to get it too hot. Because, you know, fire. But, all right. Ugh. All right, warm-ish fire. Perfect. All right, so what I'm thinking is hopefully the smoke that's coming out of the, oh, now you see me. Yeah, I suck at videography. Hoping the smoke that's puffing out is just whatever's still in the exhaust and the rings aren't washed out of it. Because if that's the case, well, run until the engine blows or completely loses power. Yes, that's my expert diagnostic because I don't feel like rebuilding an engine. But with that, I'm gonna let it sit and then fire it up again, do another oil change. Also remember, this oil is just literally what I put in after it got flushed. So, might still be carrying a bunch of fuel in there. Dump it out, put some more in, thicker, because thicker fixes problems. And hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's not doing that. I'll be back when it cools down. All right, guys. Shop defumed. Engine I ran for about, give or take 20 minutes last night. It got really, really bad in here. Still chooching out the tailpipe. But one thing I did notice is the owner did complain about this, and I disregarded it as an initial complaint due to the fact that I figured it was, well, hydro locking with fuel and wasn't able to, say, rotate. But the starter last night, I went to go fire it up, and I wish I hit the camera, but it was late, so I apologize. But every now and then you turn the key and it just goes, you know, clunk, and just stop. And then it'll free up and it'll rotate over. Oil's still where it's supposed to be. It doesn't, I mean, it smells like fuel. That's the bad thing, but it didn't go up in level. And we bore scoped it and it's not leaking fuel. Well, I think maybe it's, the only thing I can think of, it's losing signal to the actual starter, and it's misrepresenting, it's acting like a hydro lock, but it's actually just a signal thing. Engine's completely cold. I'm gonna fire it up, try to fire it up and see if she fires up or if it's gonna do whatever it was doing. Because ideally I wanted to, you know, screw up. Hold on, I'm playing with my gauges. All right. Like I said, ideally it sounds bad, but I want this thing to mess up so I get it on camera. Hold on, ready? That. Cranks, stops. And then it's fine. Hopefully I picked up in my mic, but clunk, and it stops. I'm hoping it's a loss of signal, honestly, because I don't know what we'll be doing that, to be honest with you. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain the oil again, obviously. Well, not obvious, but I'm gonna flush out the oil. So the 1030 that's in here is coming out, new filter. I'm gonna put cheap 1540 diesel O'Reilly stuff in here again to run it through the system again, make it a little thicker. Try that, and I'm also going to put on a cheater relay to hopefully, possibly isolate if it's something else going on, the starter bad, or just weak signal. I've built these before. Power 12 volt on starter lug, signal, ground on starter. Attach the starter and yeah, done. Attach the ground like that. That goes on the starter lug with the power and plug these in normally. So let me throw this in, drain the oil, and see what we got going on. Going up. We'll drain the oil together. What size spark plug are we running in here? That'll work. But yeah, let's dump the oil again. All right. And come on. Well, I appreciate the spark plug being in here. I don't, all at the same time. All right, is it oil or is it gas or what do we got? Perfect oil. It's almost the same draining it. Again, it does smell a little fuely, but I mean, that is what it is. But yeah, nothing wrong with what's coming out of here. Yeah. Such a terrible place. Yeah, it definitely has gas in it still. Oh, hell. Stain drain. It's hard to tell. It really is. I'm not trying to sound weird, but it's 1030 is thin stuff. It's compared to 1540. But also, like I said, it could still had fuel in it. Hopefully, all the fuel's gone, or at least, you know, the biggest majority of it is gone. So I'll put this in, 1540 in, run the engine again, make sure it's not leaking. Radio, well, TV went off. Make sure it's not leaking again, and then, you know, call it good. So, yet another filter. It's funny, my parts guy asked me today, he's like, didn't you just get this filter? I'm like, yep. Is it the same filter? Well, I got some, yeah, exact same filter. I thought I got a different style wicks last time. Like I said, it's just another wicks going on here, and then, like I said, I'll run the K&N when it leaves. Nothing against the wicks at all. It's just the K&N. You saw it at least has the nut on the bottom, so that there we go. Longevity-wise, it's easier to get them the hell off if you don't have either you know, the filter tool or anything like that. Makes my life a little easier anyway. Main reason I put them on. It's not that they're superior or better, it's just makes, again, my life easier. I lost the spark plug. Shit. Did I? I really did, didn't I? Oh no, there it is. That was the noise. Clean off the drain plug. A+ for ingenuity. Yeah, and again, make sure you have your drain plug gapped correctly. and we'll just reinstall it. I don't care if stuff's still draining out, just due to the fact that, well, it's going to get flushed again, and this is good oil that's in here anyway. Like I said, it's going to leave with one more oil change. It'll have Rotella put into it because, like I said, you know, argue if you want, but I'll swear, you know, I put Rotella in everything. I don't use the, you know, VP Max Racing stuff or anything like that or whatever it is. I have used it. If a customer requires it or wants it, I will put it in. But the Rotel T4 is just as good. All right. What do we got going on under here? Where are we? Starter lug. All right, let me, it could just be the connections under here, to be honest with you. They look like they've seen better days, but let me put that solenoid in and see if oh, shut up, phone. See if it helps anything. All right, guys, real quick. Just show you. Relay. Relay's tucked up in here. That's the original signal wire, power, ground to the new signal. You know, weep whoop. It like I said, 12 volt in, trigger wire will close the circuit and then send power, all the juice that way. Oh, that's good. We'll tighten the CV. It's coming off. That's been replaced. I didn't do it. A while ago, it's dry rotting. Seen better days than this one. This one's busted. I'll call him and tell him to see if he wants it replaced. But yeah. All right, under here, done. Lower the car, top it up with fluids, fire it up, and see what happens. Like I said, we're running I'm running 1540 this go. Hopefully, whatever was remnant-wise of the fuel that was in here is gone now. All right, that should be plenty. Bum, 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 where'd the cap go? Yeah, again, cheap Rotella or cheap 1540. Honestly, I think Rotella is like $10 more. So I mean, I could do it with that, you know, or now I got this stuck. I don't know how I'm this good. Get out of there. You go there. But yeah, Rotella's, you know, like I said, I'm doing it for flushes. It's goes in, comes out. So that 530 was fine. I know a bunch of people run 530. I run 530 if it is a brand new engine for break-in. Reason is I don't like to blow seals because I have blown oil seals before on break-in. Just doesn't like the 1540, or I've had bad luck. Can you do it? Yeah, I know people who do it. But me, personally, I've had bad luck, so I break them in on 1540 or 530. All right. I think I made a comment that this thing does not have a choke, or it's not working. So you're gonna start. Oil lights on, to be expected. All right, maybe I'll work the gas pedal. Oil lights immediately off. Yeah. I mean, it runs super good. It's a shame I know what happened to it. No smoke yet. So that's a positive. Yeah. I'll let Island report back, see if the smoke indeed did go away. Because that'd be fantastic. I'm hoping it didn't burn the rings out of it is what I'm getting at. And it cranked fine. Cranked faster than it did with the solenoid. So hopefully the solenoid did the thing. So I'll be back. All right, guys. It is, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But she is puffing. It's hard to see. Yeah, you can see it a little better. She is chugging. But the good news is, it's not looking like it's on fire again. So, running it yesterday definitely helped as far as burn off goes. Yeah, you can really see it behind me. Let me shut it down. Whew. Yeah, running it yesterday really helped with burning some of this stuff off. Hot fire. Perfect. All right. So I can confidently say that the engine is healthy. Definitely needed cleaning. I don't think you want to watch me hose this thing off, but I'll hose the engine off, so on and so forth. Yeah, you can really see all the stuff still burning off of it. That has to be fixed, obviously, as far as clean everything. But with that said, I think I'm going to wrap up this episode. Little short diag, flushing, what to look for if your thing is being weird. I'm really hoping that hard fix it with the jumper. It does seem like it's a little happier firing up, so that's a good thing. But like I said, I got to clean this thing. I'm waiting on parts. Should be here. Next video, we'll be getting this thing back on the road. Hopefully the test drive and everything's happy. In the interim, I had another fun thing to get dropped off. And that'll be, this guy is an ex-revival. Hasn't been off the road that long, but I guess the guy, or at least the tag said, so it hasn't been off that long. But Randon did it, so we'll get that thing going again. But yeah, let me get you guys squared up and let this gas out, and I'll clear up this, close out this video because yeah, everything's good so far. I'm happy. I'll be back. All right, guys, gonna cap off this episode on a 72 bus. 72. Anywho, what do we learn? Crankcase full of fuel. Bad. Starting issue, that hard chunk, I'm hoping it was due to a lack of a signal voltage, and it sounded like it hydraulics. Really hoping that really fixes it. If it doesn't, we'll put a starter on, but that's neither here or there for this part. It's just something that I remember the owner saying and I dismissed it, so easy enough to put a solenoid on. What else? So far it's on a second engine flush, give or take. I still got to hose the engine off, clean all the oil stuff off, so hopefully it doesn't burn out. I am hoping a lot of the smoke that's coming out of the tailpipe is just residual stuck in the actual muffler itself and just needs to burn out. So that's where I am with that one. I do not think the engine is injured as far as rings or valve guides or anything like that goes. But we'll find out more when I open it up, when I get all the gaskets for this thing, because we're going to do a full tune-up. Spark plugs, wires, adjust valves, and do gaskets, because these have all been compromised. Push rod tubes seem like they're holding, so that's good. I don't have to pull the engine and the rear main. I did order one and a front seal. I did order both of them. They both seem like they're holding. So if I don't have to pull this engine, I'm not going to. Like I said, not in to make super amount of money. It's going to save the owner about $1,000 for me not to pull this engine. With that said, the clutch should hopefully be fine. I did run through the gears, and it engages where I would like it to. So, and he didn't complain about the clutch. He said something funky with the shifter. Haven't even looked at it. It's probably a bushing, and I wish I would have remembered before I put in my order. But I can get them in quick enough, so that's not a problem. But with that said, I'm going to cap off this episode. Engine's good. We did some diagnostic. Carburetor, float stuck, and the electric pump just... I have never seen so much fuel in an engine. I'm still blown away. But, yeah, I really didn't plan or even think of what I was going to say. Anywho, if you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, promise you, we will chit-chat. As always, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the next one. Next time. See you next time. Yeah. God, I say the same thing in every video, and I screwed that one up. We're keeping it in. Hopefully see you on the next one, guys. We'll get this guy on the road.